Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Good and Bad of the Week podcast where me and NJ, the British Fist, we review, well, not review, but we give our thoughts on... Damn, I'm losing my voice here, NJ. We give our thoughts on Raw, TNA, and SmackDown and see which we say what was good and what was bad and what was so-so about the show. Then at the end, we compare what we thought was the best, worst, and middle show.
The importance about this for WWE is their build towards Survivor Series.
Indeed, and the importance for TNA is they need to really continue what they did from Turning Point and actually try and build to their pay-per-views. Before we go into this, make sure you subscribe up above as usual, like this video, and comment any thoughts you have on this week in wrestling down below. Maybe you got some thoughts on some news or the shows or the pay-per-view coming up. Give us your thoughts here. This is a week in review.
And make sure you contact us in the links in the description box below.
Indeed. Right, let's start with... but firstly, NJ, I want you to say what's up. Everyone loves it.
What's up?
Exactly. Let's go on to Raw on that positive note. So to open up Raw is Rock, the special 3-hour, we had none other than the exciting build-up, which has had loads of build-up because it's been put back so often. The Michael Cole Challenge! Why did this open the show? This was so stupid.
Ow.
What the fuck? We have arm wrestling, we have dancing, and JR dancing was, well, he had some moves, but this segment was so pointless, and what a stupid way to open up your go-home show.
It was pointless, fixed, and it didn't get much better when Punk dragged it on.
He did. Cole comes out and says the Michael Cole challenge was pointless, so why even fucking have it then? I never understand why WWE have these damn commentator segments. This segment sucked. It sucked so bad.
Yes, it's got the worst out of the way, but still, it didn't do anything for the show, didn't do anything for the viewers, so it really sucked overall.
It wasn't even entertaining apart from JR's moves. John Laurinaitis makes Henry Del Rio versus Show and Punk as our 2-hour main event, as we so called by. And Punk puts the Anaconda Vice on Cole. Why did this last 20 minutes? This lasted 20 minutes, and it was such an awful way of opening the go-home show. It really was.
Yes, that was just horrible.
Yeah, the next we had a tag team match. Sin Cara and Kofi Kingston versus Hunico and Rhodes, two guys from the 5-on-5 going at it in tag team action. I thought this segment was okay. I think it's nice they're featuring these two guys in tag team action. I wasn't sure why Rhodes was in there, but at least he got on TV and he's not got a mask anymore. He's got new music. They're all in the Survivor Series match, so it all counts to hype.
It was a new introduction for Cody Rhodes. It was something different for the band. Different fans have different opinions on it. All I can say is that Cody Rhodes picks up the win, which was good because it's giving him more of a push for his 5-on-5 match at Survivor Series.
And that is exactly why, for me, this was the best segment of the night. Cody Rhodes, your Intercontinental Champion, your future, Mr. Parkin's mark-out moment of the night. Cody Rhodes gets the victory after not being on TV on SmackDown. This was the best segment of the night for me. Fuck that.
I enjoyed it. It was a good match. Good match.
And Vicky Guerrero comes out then saying that Christian is injured and that Ziggler is going to be replacing Christian in that 5-on-5, and my thought was, why not just put Brodus Clay in there, as he should have debuted on this Raw?
It would have been good to have Brodus Clay in, because it would have been a big impact for him to join, but we do have the whole Mason Ryan and Ziggler thing, so it makes sense having Ziggler replace Christian.
Yeah, indeed. We then have Ziggler versus Ryan in about a 1-minute match. It ends in a DQ, and Jomo comes out and feeds Ziggler to Mason Ryan, kind of teasing that match that they're going to be having at Survivor Series Season 2. Not the best of build for it, but at least it's something.
Ryan goes on a rampage thanks to Jomo, and I think Jomo's pleased himself for getting Ziggler thrown into the monster of Mason Ryan, so it was effective for that, but I don't really care.
No, it wasn't really that. I didn't really give a shit about this segment. Which is exactly how I felt about this next segment. We had a Mick Foley, This Is Your Life segment, which was basically another way for WWE of trying to get John Cena some cheap face heat. What the fuck was this? This sucked.
Yeah, one, Cena doesn't really need any more face push because he would have got it, and the second thing is, this was just a lot worse than when he did it for The Rock.
It dragged on so much. You had Bull Buchanan coming out, John Cena's dad telling us that we all sucked for hating John Cena. The Rock comes out and rock bottoms Mick Foley. And I'm like, this is my second biggest mark-out moment of the night from Cody Rhodes getting the victory.
You do expect this Rock and Sock connection, but Rock coming in and rock bottom Mick Foley, great, saved the segment for me.
The segment just sucked, and it was one of the segments that really put this a downer on the show for me. It was a filler segment, there was no need for this. They bring Mick Foley back for this. It was stupid.
Yeah, not really. Don't do much justice for Mick Foley. Didn't do really much justice for even the build to Survivor Series. Not really, no.
No, just cheap Cena facey, I guess.
That's it.
Sheamus versus Swagger was next in a match. I'm not going to bash this too much. It went 9 minutes, and they're both in the Survivor Series match, and Sheamus predictably gets the win. It's just hype for the pay-per-view. It's just simple, effective hype for the pay-per-view, I guess.
But with Swagger, I really don't care. They've lost ideas with him, so they've just dumped him with Dolph Ziggler just like to do. And now this match, 9 minutes. Maybe went on too long, but again, it did good for Sheamus.
And it did good for the Survivor Series match. We got. I mean, throughout the night, we got like the 5 guys 1-on-1 or whatever. So it was all good. They featured all 10 of those guys, which was nice. Oh god. Oh dear.
Sorry, people.
Natalia versus Kelly. This went on for less than a minute, and Kelly wins by roll up, and it's like wow. Divas of Doom. Natalia's on a bad streak. Divas of Doom suck. And they didn't really even properly announce the Divas match, the Survivor Series. It was like, what? This segment did absolutely fuck all, which is why it was shit, like the normal Divas segment.
What I'm going to say is, Natalya, again, great Diva overall, but when she joins Diva Doom, when she goes against Kelly, she just gets flattened and not really what we need. So it's a horrible segment.
The Divas of Doom just suck. They're being booked so badly at the moment. What the fuck? They might as well be called the Divas of get beat up every week by fucking Maxim cover girls.
Divas get beaten. There we go.
Oh god damn it! We then have Santino coming out. No, sorry, I'm going ahead of myself here. Del Rio attacks Punk backstage, which was good shit. It's nice that Del Rio is actually getting some, getting on top of CM Punk. And John Laurinaitis says, "Don't make me take my jacket off." I mean, don't let me take my jacket off. I'm John Laurinaitis.
The thing about this is that Del Rio's been booked horribly for a while, not as strong as he could. So when I saw this, I thought, "Go Del Rio! Go Del Rio!"
He definitely needs it going into Survivor Series. We have Del Rio and Mark Henry versus Big Show and CM Punk as our 2-hour main event. I was alright with this tag match. It was one of the better segments of the night, in my opinion. It went 12 minutes. You had some decent action in there. The 2 big guys in the ring going at it was pretty good. And Del Rio steals a victory after Mark Henry hits the World's Strongest Slam on CM Punk. So you got him looking slightly stronger going into this pay-per-view.
The way they did that, have Mark Henry flatten him, because CM Punk could have maybe battered Del Rio, so for him to be flattened, I thought it was nicely done.
Yeah, and the post-match attack when he armbarred CM Punk, I thought that would have been a good moment for maybe John Laurinaitis to come out. I know I don't like him, but make it a submissions match or something.
And we've been having many agreement with that, because it would have been a much better match than just have another single match, because WWE seems to be concentrating more on single matches than maybe having stipulations to matches now, but whatever.
Yeah, it would be hard for them to top their match at Vengeance, but I guess they could try. Yeah, I thought this was a good segment. One of the more positive segments on the night for me, to be honest. It's from a real boring Raw.
Indeed.
We then get Barrett versus Orton in what was essentially... Oh, God, I'm still getting ahead of myself here.
Now.
Thanks for pointing out, NJ. Santino, well, it was essentially filler, so you can't blame for trying to get beyond it. Santino then comes out... I love Santino on the mic, and Nash comes out and big boots him, and he's like, is Nash booked to the pay-per-view? No. So why is he on TV? Another example of pointless filler given by WWE.
One, we had Santino citing him on mic. Great. Very entertaining.
We're Kevin Nash. I'm a big fan of yours, yeah.
That was like that. I was thinking, okay, this is, for some reason, Kevin Nash getting face pushed, but whatever. But then he just flattened Santino, and that was... bad for Santino, but still, whatever.
He thought he deserved a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship.
He was this close in a Royal Rumble.
He was the lowest drawing champion in the 90s, and he wants a shot at the title. Fucking hell. We then get Wade Barrett versus Randy Orton. Again, the main event of SmackDown is now doing the main event match on Raw. It was a bit not very creative, was it? But,
no.
But at least the teams come out in this, which I liked. This is what made the segment good for me. The teams came out, and they did something with the teams, finally.
That was what we needed to see. Again, if let's say they did not have the teams there, I think Orton would have picked up the win, which you don't really want to see, because Barrett's getting this awesome push. So the teams being there, thank you for having them all gang up on each other in the ring.
It was a good segment in that, just the teams all collided together. And even though the faces come out on top, at least I can say this now, we've seen the teams go at each other somehow, and Hunico is probably going to be the first eliminated in that match.
Yeah, that was horrible to see, but then we go. He was the worst unbuilt one in the group.
Probably, yeah, even though he has a fucking awesome faction. I'll give him that. We then go to our main event, which is pretty much built... This is what the show was built around, wasn't it, really? The Rock coming out and talking a little bit for 10 minutes about Twitter, and Twittertainment, as well as Twitter, and Boots to Asses and Twitter.
Boots to Asses! Boots to Asses!
Exactly, you can make that into a rap song with Twitter.
Boots to Asses!
This segment then, NJ, Rock talks for about 10 minutes, you know, mainly about himself. I thought he should put more focus on the match at Survivor Series, but...
He started mentioning the word Survivor Series, but it didn't flow anywhere, and all I can say is, got the crowd going for what came next.
Thank God for Awesome Truth, though. They came out and they had a little face-off with The Rock, and I'm thinking to myself, The Rock could probably take them down, both, just like Cena did.
Because that's what he wanted to do. He said, I'm going to lay your boot to asses. He brought all that down, and they left the ring. Out comes...
John Cena.
John Cena!
Yeah, John Cena comes out, and then they do this whole thing between Rock and Cena when they're kind of jibing at each other. It teases tension between them, and I'm like, God damn, you're focusing too much on their feud. Focus on the Survivor Series match. That's the draw of your pay-per-view. Why are they putting so much focus on this Rock Cena thing? I know it's to do the hype it, but come on, put more focus on Awesome Truth and the tag match.
Cena's woman parts.
Yeah.
Rock appearing satellite.
Don't really want to think about that.
No. Okay, so yeah.
So the segment became more about Rock Cena than Survivor Series, which was a bit disappointing, but at least Miz and Truth kind of like said the truth. You know, I'm fed up with it being about you two. It's going to be about us. We're going to win. I fucking hope they win.
And it's because of that which got them laid out by The Rock after Cena was trying to do an FU, but Rock laid them both out.
So Rock took Cena's spotlight, essentially. So yeah, I mean, after Cena beat Awesome Truth on his own, I don't really see why Rock is needed in this tag match, but there we go. But the problem with this show was, it was, number one, it was boring. There was a lot of filler. There was no new pay-per-view. There was no new pay-per-view matches made. There's only 6 matches at this damn pay-per-view. Come on.
Yeah, there was a chance maybe for them to announce matches, but they just didn't do it. They just gave us a 3-hour Raw, which ended in a way that Rock came on top.
Yeah, I mean, for a go-home show, there was a lot of filler, and it really doesn't feel like we're going through a Big 4 pay-per-view at all, does it?
Not really, no, it doesn't.
Should we move on to TNA? Remember, we looked at the spoilers. We thought this was going to be an awesome show.
Yeah, let's then.
Now it's time for TNA. After what was essentially a filler pay-per-view at Turning Point, let's see if TNA could actually hype up their pay-per-view straight away. And we got pretty much the perfect start for that, didn't we? We opened up with Bobby Roode, who won the match at Turning Point. I enjoyed this opening segment, just because, you know, he talks about being the star of fortune, you get this whole Storm thing, and you get a pay-per-view match announced.
The thing I'll say about this is that Bobby Roode tried to bury his old thing, saying, "I'll watch the bottom of my feet. Yeah, you're nothing without me.
I was the star of fortune. I'm the face of this company."
Yeah, he started pushing it all down, but it was effective. It definitely got his point across, and this whole heel heat which he needs.
Yeah, he definitely needs his heel heat. Out comes James Storm. He walks out, but security stops him. And Roode says it wasn't him that jumped him. And this whole show is pretty much built around who attacked James Storm, which I liked. I think and the main event, we'll get onto that later, but I enjoyed the build up to that main event with these segments.
Well, after Storm's bloody attack, I'm glad they're following that on in such a positive way, which we'll get to later in the night.
Exactly. AJ Styles comes out, attacks Bobby Roode from behind, and we get the announcement of a pay-per-view match between the two 30-minute Iron Man match at Final Resolution. Wow, we're getting a pay-per-view match announced on the first week after the pay-per-view. It's good shit.
That is good, and 2, Iron Man match. I'm really looking forward to that, between 2 good wrestlers.
Why did we have an advert in this segment, though? This segment went on for, what, 10, 12 minutes, and we had an advert. Yet Immortal can have pointless 20-minute segments earlier this year and can never get any adverts between them.
Well, you've got the World Heavyweight Champ. To be honest, having an advert during his segments really takes it away.
Yeah. And we then have this whole thing between AJ and Bobby Roode, and then Dixie Carter gets involved. That was a bit strange. Getting, I think, more heel heat on Roode by attacking Carter or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, overall, a very good opening segment. I enjoyed it. You got the World Heavyweight Champion, James Storm, AJ Styles, some good stuff there. And the announcement of the pay-per-view match. I can't think of any better.
I liked it. Good heel heat for Roode and a match made for the pay-per-view. I liked it.
Robbie E versus Devon for the TV title. Number 1, why is Devon challenging for the title? Number 2, why are Devon's kids still at ringside?
And number 3, who cares for this match?
No one gave a shit. This segment had so much crap. You had the Pope and Devon's kids at ringside. Rob Terry attacking Pope. Eric Young attacking Rob Terry. Devon getting distracted by his kids. So Robbie you can get the pin. You're like, what the fuck is going on in this segment? God damn.
It's horrible because Devon, yes, he wasn't going to go into the main event or anything, but losing to Robert E.
Ouch. Get Pope. They're wasting Pope. Fucking hell. Seriously. So much.
Yeah, it was horrible. They could use them a lot better, but
damn.
Yeah.
They have a segment backstage where a tag team championship match is made between Mexican America and Morgan and Crimson. So we get a tag team match later on in the night, and we also got a bit of Garrett Bischoff stuff, many of those segments throughout the night.
Well, we like the tag match being made because it has the continuous of Morgan and Crimson, because they did have their back and forward before the match was made, so
Yep.
it's definitely continuing them. The Garrett's very short. That gets
much.
shown too much in the night, too much.
I can't believe he's working with Sting, Bischoff, Flair, so many guys. But fuck it, we'll move on. X Division tag match. I like this segment. Cash and Aries versus Kendrick and Sorensen. You know, good X Division action. Always love a bit of X Division action. And they're teasing something there between Cash and Aries. I'm not sure if I like that too much, but I guess it's early signs of a pay-per-view match between the two. Maybe they're going to try and make Austin Aries face. Who knows what's going to happen here?
I'm not really a fan of Kid Cash, but if he has a match against Austin Aries, I guess Austin Aries will do good for that match.
Yeah, Aries walks out on Cash, allowing Sorensen to get the win. So, yeah.
Sorensen, I'm just getting used to, but he picks up a win over someone that he's in a feud with. I liked it.
Yeah, I still think they should focus. I still think they should highlight a couple more X Division guys. And they signed all these X Division guys after Destination X, and they're just not really. They're only showcasing like 4. I think they should showcase a couple more, like Zima Ion and people like that. But there we go.
It would be good.
It's our main event this week, which is interesting. 10 knockout gauntlet match for the number 1 contendership for the TNA Knockouts title. And the first thing I thought was, wow, we're going to get a number 1 contender straight away for the pay-per-view, which is good pay-per-view hype. It's nice that they're establishing a number 1 contender right now and in a gauntlet match, what could be an entertaining match.
That's what I thought, because to be honest, they have a lot of knockouts. They have a lot of knockouts. For them to be all involved in one match, to show which one is going to go on to the pay-per-view to face Gail Kim, it was really nicely done.
Yep. This got a lot of time as well, which was good. It needed a lot of time with 10 fucking knockouts in it. Velvet starts off. I thought she would get a rematch against Gail Kim, but okay. She starts off pretty dominant. She eliminates 2 people. Then Mickie James eliminates her, and then she wins it. Last eliminating Madison Rayne. Fuck Madison Rayne. She got fucking embarrassed tonight. That made this segment so much fucking better. A very good segment.
The thing is, there were some fans that were thinking, ODB laid out Mickie James. Is Madison Rayne going to win? But obviously no, because Mickie James is the start. Gail Kim versus Mickie James, what a good match that's going to be.
It will be a great match at the pay-per-view. I think maybe it could have happened at Genesis, but I'm happy they're feuding, just generally, because it'll be a great match. You know, you could complain a little bit about, you know, oh, some people getting buried in this match, you know, people like Tara and people, but I get it was a good segment. I'm not going to complain about it too much.
For once in a while now, I've actually said this was a good knockout match.
Yes, we then get a segment where Jeff Hardy comes out, says he's going to set his sights on the world title. Oh, we think that he's past Jeff Jarrett and is on his road to redemption, but no! Karen Jarrett has to come out, and she dominates the fucking mic, botches her lines. Like, what the fuck? She was on the mic for like 5 minutes. Why?
It was hard to hear because she just blabbered on about the past, embarrassing Jeff Hardy by saying all this stuff, and I really thought, right, you two are not going to be in a match against each other. It's supposed to be Jeff Jarrett, but whatever.
Jeff Jarrett comes down and tries to attack Hardy, but fails because he got beat 3 times at the fucking pay-per-view. It's like, is this continuing? Like, goddamn, do we really want to see this continue?
No, but I think, to be honest, when you get embarrassed, you do want to get your revenge. I think it's be at least one more match and then finish it.
One more match. Oh, fucking hell, Christian. You know, this segment should have been shorter, but you know when Jeff Jarrett is involved, or Karen Jarrett, they're going to get plenty of fucking mic time and plenty of fucking TV time because it's Jeff Jarrett. So for me, this was bad. Just the mic work and the way this was continuing.
As great as it was for Hardy to mention about the title, it was good, but then Jarrett has to stretch on their feud, so it was bad because of that.
Yes. Crimson and Matt Morgan versus Mexican America for the TNA Tag Team titles. Let's cut the story short here. It went 5.5 minutes, and Crimson and Morgan are our new tag champs. What do you think about this?
Very dominant match. Good both sides. Matt Morgan, as we clearly saw, dominated the match with Crimson coming in there doing the help out. I enjoyed this match.
Again, I thought this was another good segment on this show. You know, you have Crimson's winning his first TNA title, and now what you can do is you can add a tag team to TNA's kind of defuncting tag team division, which is good. While also at the same time, you can lead up to a bigger story by maybe turning one of them heel in a feud, and you can do it like that way. It's a move that WWE have done a lot recently with feuds. Have the tag team slowly break up and then move on to a big feud between the two.
That would be good to see, because obviously Crimson Morgan, they had the whole build-up of their pay-per-view, so if they can continue their possible having a match, I'd enjoy it.
Oh, God, we have the Garrett Bischoff. Oh, how much fucking backstage shit did we get from Garrett? Is it me, or did Garrett Bischoff get more TV time this week than Robert Roode, our World Heavyweight Champion? Was it me, or that's how it felt? It felt like Bischoff was the fucking show.
I kind of got really annoyed by seeing Garrett, because obviously I don't think it's going to lead anywhere important for TNA.
I can understand Bischoff trying to push his son, but God, not this much. He gets a match against Gunner, it goes 4 minutes, and he wins! It's like, what? Gunner, you know, what the fuck for Gunner? He looks so weak.
I know, with Gunner, in the past we've said that maybe Gunner's going to go somewhere, but this has basically knocked him back loads of steps now.
I don't know what they're doing with Gunner, but Garrett Bischoff, what are they going to do with him? No, I don't get it. I don't feel this. I don't get it at all.
No.
For me, a bad segment.
It was
bad. Fucking bad segment. Main event, however, was a good segment. We have all these lead-up things during the night with backstage segments where James Storm is talking to Bully Ray Anderson, Samoa Joe saying, and they're saying that they didn't attack him. So he basically goes out there and calls out AJ Styles, as, logically, he's got 2 title shots out of it, so, you might think that it could be him as he got the title shot.
It did narrow down to AJ Styles, because he went through the main guys in TNA, so it did narrow down to AJ, so I see where he got his logic from.
So this was a good segment, and, James Storm walks out after trying to blame AJ Styles, and then Angle attacks Storm from behind, and we find out that he's the guy that attacked him. And I was thinking to myself, fucking what a pay-per-view match we could have here.
It's true. A great comeback for Angle after his injury. Goes straight after the one who he lost the championship to. And I thought it was really effective. I like this.
Yeah, definitely. So it'd be nice to see AJ and Rude, Storm and Angle. It holds off the beer money match, which we're going to probably see at a big pay-per-view. And it gives them both feuds which can really help them get pushed. So I'm pretty happy with this. 2
big matches that are getting them both involved, getting them both build up to their match, which you said will be at a later pay-per-view.
So yeah, a lot of good segments, but some bad segments too. But we'll give our overall thoughts in the segment after SmackDown, which we're going to be going on to next. The way SmackDown opened this week, NJ, for me was really, really good. We opened up with Mark Henry beating on Daniel Bryan backstage, moving to the ring and shit. I love the way SmackDown began. It was just something different and unique rather than an opening promo segment.
And you open up with the World Heavyweight Championship, I give it that. And you open up with the Money in the Bank, even though he was getting attacked and pushed down, it was still a good opener. Yeah,
and during this, they go to the ring, and Mark Henry gets the mic and says, pretty much there'll be more of that on Big Show at the pay-per-view. And talks about beating him at Survivor Series, and that one of them is going to get carried out of the arena. I thought this was a great segment. I love the way they opened SmackDown this week.
It was really good because you had Mark Henry speaking dominantly like he has in the past couple of weeks. Yeah, Daniel Bryan getting laid out.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a really good opener. It definitely gave us what we needed to hear from the champion.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame they're burying Daniel Bryan like that, though. But I guess against Mark Henry, you're always going to get buried. He did try and fight back, but maybe they could put him a tad bit stronger, but I don't know. It's just nice to see him on TV consistently, finally.
That's very true. He's staying up in the main event area, so it's decent, I think.
Yeah. We then get Sin Cara versus Dolph Ziggler in a match which involves 2 of the guys from the 5-on-5. This was alright. I didn't mind this match. It was 4.5 minutes. Vicky announces that Ziggler is going to be defending the US title against John Morrison. Yeah, that's been built well. So yeah, Ziggler wins via a cheap pin. Sin Cara then attacks Ziggler post-match.
Again, I was surprised when Dolph actually come into a match and winning, because obviously the way Ziggler's been built, I really didn't really think he was going to be booked well going up to his pay-per-view, but
like
he gets the win. So
he's been booked like shit lately, isn't he, as the US champ?
He has indeed.
Part of me wants him to lose it, but part of me thinks, well, John Morrison has been built up to win it, so why give him it?
No.
But, as an effect, I guess you also had the whole thing with Swagger coming out, attacking Sin Cara, and then Mason Ryan coming out, which set up a Mason Ryan Swagger match. Again, this went about 4 minutes. Ryan wins with a full Nelson Slam. You got 2 more guys there from the 5-on-5. So I guess combined, you had two on each team, the face winning one and the heel winning one. So in that way, I guess it was kind of effective. It was a so-so segment for me. Nothing too great.
Well, the way I see it, the fans are not really behind Mason Ryan, but the fans are really losing interest in Swagger. So to be honest, this match was just an okay build up to the Survivor Series, but all it really was, not an entertainment match or anything, really.
Yeah. Then we get Christian coming out with crutches and a neck brace. He says he'll continue to support Team Barrett. Was this just another way of getting Christian on TV?
He needed to have some time, because I think, to be honest, I personally think that he's going to do something at the pay-per-view, so he still has some involvement, some contribute to the match, but his segment went on a bit too long, I thought.
Yeah, it was just like, it kind of seemed a little bit pointless in the long scheme of things. He said there was going to be severe consequences for Tony Long for putting him in a match, because that's not what wrestlers do. They don't go into matches injured.
No, but again, I just don't really care about it. Yeah, yes, he's had his time on mic, but it went on too long.
Ted DiBiase versus Derek Bateman. I don't really know where to start with this. The thing is, they're featuring Ted DiBiase every week, but this is the go-home show. You need to be featuring people that are going to be on your pay-per-view. Could they not have had maybe something else here that could have hyped your pay-per-view? Maybe maybe hype up something else. I don't know.
I agree they need to have hype, but they still need to concentrate on the other wrestlers that may lead up to something in the near future. So I think Ted DiBiase, maybe they have an idea for him coming up to Survivor Series, but all I can say is the match was short, quick, and give Ted DiBiase a win.
Yeah, against Derek Bateman of all people. I just don't know why this was on the Garden Show. It was an okay segment, but I'd give it a thumbs down just because it was... Don't see why it was even on the show, but there we go. It looks like they might be interesting to see what they do with Teddy DiBiase. I think they might put him in a match with Rhodes or something, but eventually, I don't know.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? They need to build him up a bit better for that. We then have a Big Show promo. We had all these things backstage, between him and looking for Mark Henry. They say Mark Henry's gone. He smashed Jinder Mahal. That was hilarious. Tyson Kidd just sort of cartoonishly walks out of the shot.
That's true. I'm thinking... Big Show has got this all fury building up inside him. So I think now he's wanting Mark Henry so bad, and he just talks about their match going up to the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, he says that he takes footage around with him of Mark Henry beating him on him at Money in the Bank to motivate him. It wasn't the best promo segment, but it did its job. You got Big Show talking... on the mic, giving his feelings about the match and how he wasn't going to be the one walking out of Survivor Series in in an ambulance and stuff. So
no, you had the big opener with Mark Henry. So I think having a Big Show segment as well did good for both the competitors going for the championship.
And they didn't really need to be in a segment with each other, either, because it's been hyped up enough now, and we've seen this match once before, so they didn't really need to be in the same segment. Although it would have been a good, it could have gone either way tonight, couldn't it?
True, it could have. But again, I think it was nicely done.
Hunico versus Kofi Kingston. My one question is, where was Hunico's Mexican-American version 2 faction? I was looking forward to seeing Epico and Primo.
They would have been good, because obviously I don't want it to be a one-off thing. I actually want to see them continue and be a good tag team.
Hunico cut a promo in Spanish. Portegueo KLS, yeah.
Yeah, again, I guess some people understood him, but he got into the ring and then the match was okay, I thought. They did put on a good match. You'd expect from Kingston, because even though he's been knocked down a few pegs, he's still a good wrestler.
Yeah, I'll just say this, MJ. Imagine if Hunico and imagine if Hunico had a promo segment with Jinder Mahal. Imagine that. But yeah, it was a good match. It went 5 minutes. Kofi Kingston wins. It's just more hype for that 5-on-5 match, which they did a lot throughout the night. You had 3 matches there with, the 3 guys on each team, and then the main event, which had 2 guys from each team. So all 5 of them were featured somewhat, which was needed.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, they've had all the wrestlers now. Now we're going on to the next match.
So a good match. Effective, I guess. So there we go. Next, we have a Divas match. Usually we would cringe at the thought of this, but it was Beth and Natalia versus AJ and Caitlyn. And the first thing we thought was, oh my god, Divas are doomed. After being booked like shit for the last month or 2, are finally going to get a win. And they did! And it was a dominant win.
And all I'm going to say for this dominant win is 2 things. Number 1, to be honest, this win didn't impress me, because you're going to get AJ and Caitlyn, 2 divas that are nowhere near the top as Beth and Natalia. And the other thing is, Natalia's getting the win, but Beth Phoenix got the championship match at the pay-per-view.
Exactly, especially after that losing streak Natalia's been on. But at least Divas Spoon got the win, which is something positive, because they haven't got any fucking win lately. It was a nice sharpshooter as well. And is it me, right? AJ to me is hot. I love AJ. She has that geeky appeal that I love in a woman.
But as much as I agree with you, she hasn't really got the look of maybe a champion. I don't think she's going to make it that far.
No, definitely not. She has the look of a valet kind of person, doesn't she?
Yeah,
we have a Raw recap of that main event with Rock and Cena.
TikTok got too long.
Exactly. It went on for too long. Don't why even have this. Main event then. Orton and Sheamus versus Rhodes and Barrett. So the sort of main 2 guys in each of the 5-on-5s in the main event. What do you think?
I thought this was a good match. You had the right people in the match. The 2 big draws for this big match at the pay-per-view, this 5-on-5. The whole thing is, you had the great thing between Orton and Barrett, which was good, because they're the 2 obviously going to have a feud or match afterwards, Survivor Series. But Rhodes, please. He's one that wants to be growing into SmackDown, and he was booked horribly in this match.
Yeah, even as a Cody Rhodes mark, man, the number 1 segment on Raw was Cody Rhodes getting the win. But here, it wasn't really booked very well. But at least the match ended in a DQ when Christian was at ringside and he hit Sheamus with the crutch twice. And it went on for about 8 minutes, so it was an alright main event. Then we see Barrett and Rhodes beating down Sheamus and Orton, and we're thinking, oh, what a great way to end the show! Until Sheamus gets the crutch, and then the faces end up on top. Why, for the second show in a row, do the faces have to end up on top?
My question to WWE is, why are you not favouring the heels for their match at the pay-per-view? Because they need to look strong, so you can think, the heels actually have a chance against Orton.
Yeah, how can you expect people to get behind the baby faces when they're always winning? You know what I mean? You gotta build up that heat, that heel heat, so the babyfaces can get themselves over. And this is just not the way of doing it. It wasn't the best way to end the show. I didn't mind the match. I'd say it was a so okay segment, I guess.
The match I enjoyed. I get it was great to see Orton and Barrett, but overall the ending ruined it for me.
Yes. So there we go then. Should we move on to our overall thoughts then for the week of wrestling?
Oh yes.
So NJ, the spotlight is on you now. I'm going to ask you what I ask you every video. You know what it is, but I'll say it anyway. What was the best show of the week in your opinion, and why?
The light's too bright. What I'm going to say is TNA was the best show, but SmackDown, the way it was built with the hype going to the pay-per-view, it was second, and then Raw really failed for me, and it was meant to be a big show because the Raw got rocked, or whatever.
Yeah, Raw was really disappointing. That was definitely the worst show. SmackDown was average. It did its job, but it wasn't the most entertaining of shows, but it still did a job for Survivor Series, which is more than we can say for Raw. For me, TNA was the best show of the week, mainly because we've got some good pay-per-view hype there for TNA. A lot of the segments in there I did enjoy, even though a couple of them I didn't, and I think are really pointless, and TNA needs to get rid of them. I'm enjoying some of the feuds they're doing at the moment. AJ and Rude, Storm and Angle. Gail Kim and Mickie James will be good. The X Division is looking pretty decent at the moment. So TNA for me was definitely the best show of the week, for me personally.
That's very true. I think, to be honest, TNA actually gave us something that Raw should have given us, but whatever.
So well done for TNA. I think that's probably one of the first times TNA has been the best show of the week, isn't it?
And boo to Raw and SmackDown.
Yes, definitely. Boo to WWE indeed. We're not WWE fanboys, people. Yeah. But anyway, make sure you guys check out our Survivor Series review, which will be up on the Sunday, of course, Sunday night when Survivor Series finishes. And NJ, take us out of this Good and Bad of the Week podcast.
Thank you very much for listening to our podcast. Enjoy Survivor Series. And that has been it from the British Biz, which is Mr. Parkin and me and Jay. Leave your comments in the comments below, and goodbye.